Good afternoon. I'm Raj Kumkalinkar, pursuing my master's in physics at BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus. And today I'm here to tell you all about a very fascinating story about this initiative that me and a few of my friends founded while we were back in school. So let me just get started off. What is fascination about? Well, we conduct interactive sessions for school students on various topics just to broaden their horizons. Then we have a mentorship program which takes care of the needs of students who want to pursue careers in fields that I would call offbeat. And then we also provide a platform for individuals who seek to make a change in the way education is delivered to students. Also, we help in networking students so that they can form groups and like-minded individuals can always get together and create change like we did. So that's the whole point of fascination. How was it born? That's the most interesting story. Well, I've been involved in popularizing science and astronomy since 2009, and I've been all over the state of Goa to various schools and have conducted sessions where we tell them about the wonders of the universe and make them explore the universe using telescopes that we carry along with us. While doing this, I gained immense pleasure from inspiring people. But there's one thing that was always bugging my mind and also the minds of many other people who were involved in astronomy outreach. That is, why don't we restrict ourselves to astronomy? Why don't we go about and popularize? Why don't we go about and create interest in other fields? I mean, astronomy might be something that is very close to my heart, but well, there are other things that other people love, and why don't we spread the love? That is the whole point. But back then we did not have a platform wherein we could, utilize and gather people to go about and create awareness about the different opportunities that lie in today's world. You might have seen that we always crib about how our teachers teach or how everything is exam oriented and how we do not end up learning anything at the end of the day. But you might have also realized that we don't do anything much about it. So that is the point that I would like to raise. Here were a bunch of students who had just passed out of their 12th standard, and although people considered them not so good at anything in particular, we all had our own passion, we all had our own interests, and that is all that we wanted to do, spread it. So the birth of fascination, as I said, started off from astronomy popularization, and I had my eureka moment. I was having a bath and I thought that, hey, I don't have anything much to do right now. I'm done with my high school, I'm done with my higher secondary school, I have 2 months to go before college begins. So why not, utilize this time to do something productive, not only for myself, but for people around me. So I just put up a status update on Facebook. That's why I love Facebook very much, because it's the best medium to get your views across, and people actually care and have a look. Most of the times it just disperses out into nothingness, but there are times wherein I've seen that it's been very effective, and this is one of those times wherein people took it seriously. People within 10 minutes tagged so many other people in the status, so many other organizations that were doing the same thing, and yes, it was game on. We started from the next day on, and we got together. One of our very own senior, Mir Umaria, he conducted the very first session at my own high school in Panjim, and it was a session on how to use Google SketchUp to visualize and to create designs. So we showed them that it's not very difficult to make your own, build your own products or design your own house, and everyone draws their own house on a sheet of paper back in primary or nursery school. So we thought, why not show them that with the advent of technology, what all you can do. So that was very crucial and instrumental when it came to the central theme that we had when we went about telling students about how to learning different things. We used technology. We had the power of technology on our side, and that was our aim, to convey the power of technology and the effect that technology has in our lives today and how it goes about making it better and better. We had a few more sessions here. You can see that we're using multimedia tools which are rarely used in schools today to convey simple intuitional things to students. And the best thing I would like to say is that we made use of cartoons like Tom and Jerry that everyone loves. I mean, if I play a Tom and Jerry video in a class, which they probably never imagined happening in their time in school, and teach them stuff in mechanics using the same, who wouldn't be interested to learn? So that's what we tried, and well, yes, it was quite some rage. I mean, we had people from one class going and telling people from the other class that, hey, look, they're doing this and this in our class. So we had students come to us and say, Bhaiya, please do the same thing in our class. So that felt very good, and so we went ahead with it. We had sessions in more schools, so as you can see, we were expanding pretty fast. This was a session in People's High School, wherein you can see a guy over there trying to figure out Newton's laws by pushing against the wall and feeling the wall pushing back at him. Then again, this is one thing that I would like to mention. In most of our sessions that we had by then, we realized that we were nothing but students ourselves. We just got out of high school, so we still had that zeal amongst us to talk out to people. We could understand students very well. We could understand what is happening in their minds very well. So we were friends more than teachers, and that worked in our favor. So finally, there came the time when we had to place ourselves on a very firm footing and put what we had in our mind down in words. So yeah, we were a group of diverse individuals. I would like to point out the word diverse, because we actually came from many different institutes, many different fields, right from people who are interested in bird watching to people who are interested, as I said, in astronomy. And we decided to give the students a joy of learning, the joy of learning that we missed out on. And we wanted to give them a platform to learn whatever they wanted to learn. I mean, way back in my time in high school, and I'm pretty sure in most of your time in high school, you might have had an urge to learn something but never knew how to go about it. When you come in college, you might have had a feel that, oh, I wish I knew this, or I wish I had tried this when I was back in my high school, but could never go about it. That is the feeling that we seek to eliminate. And we stopped complaining and we started working. So that was a turning point. We knew that we were up to something very serious. As we went on and on, there were many people from Goa, and especially people who were from different parts of India and were studying in BITS Pilani Goa campus, who came about and went around popularizing, whatever they could find to popularize and bring to the public. And we were pretty much successful in doing programs not only in Goa, but as we see programs outside Goa too. So this was one of the very interesting things that happened. A few mess workers in NIT Goa came forward to my friends in NIT Goa and told them, we want to learn English, can you help us out? So we implemented the Abhigyan model that takes place in our own campus in NIT Goa, and it went on for quite a long time. And we had quite some good feedback. So, followed by these sessions known as Inspire, wherein we talked to students about stuff right from appreciation of art to how to go about photography to the questions that are waiting to be solved in the fields of engineering and science. And we try to be sure, make it sure that there's something for everyone in whatever session that we hold. Then on, we went on to a very important phase of the whole initiative, and that was going rural. We know that people in rural schools have very limited access to the tools that we have. They probably don't have as much as access to fast internet as we do. They don't have access to libraries which have a voluminous amount of books as we do. So this was a very, very important point that we wanted to go about right when we started. So we were very happy at this point that we could actually go out and this was a place in south of Goa, Kankona. Incidentally, it was my mother's school, so we had very easy access to get into the school and conduct our activities. That was the best thing. We used our networks. We used people who we knew to get into places that we wanted to. And we conducted a session on career guidance as well as use of, we used technology to explain simple things. And I'll come to that later on. Here is another session that was conducted in Kankona. I'd like to narrate one very sad, I should say, event that I had to face over here. A student asked me questions about stuff in quantum mechanics. A student who was in the 9th grade asked me questions on quantum mechanics. And I was very happy to hear those questions. I answered the questions. But the sad part was that after I was gone, who would be there to answer his questions? How would he go about it? So that thought pained me a lot. So this was what we used. This was the methodology of teaching that we followed. We took one thing that probably everyone in the class would be interested in. In this, I think in today's world, cricket is a very good, example of something that everyone would be interested in. So we took the example of cricket. We told them, hey, this is how you would go about designing a cricket stadium. These are the materials you would need to consider when you're making a cricket bat. Why not, say steel for a cricket bat? Why only wood? Why not something else? We told them, the importance of engineering and technology, stuff like satellites, how important they are in relaying cricket matches live to us. So using one example, we taught them so many things that they probably didn't realize before that about technology. We used simple games which could teach people. This is MIT's Scratch. We use this to teach them programming and coordinate geometry right in the 8th standard, so that they had a very fun way of designing games and going about learning things. And who doesn't love food? So we decided to use examples in food to convey history. I mean, why wouldn't you sit in for a history class if someone is talking about food? So this was what came out of that sad thought that pained me. We started a book collection drive wherein we decided to relocate books that are seldom used to people who will actually benefit out of those books. So basically, we took books from people who had no longer a use for them and passed them on to students in rural areas who would probably benefit from them. Then on our regular sessions continued. This is a session in Ponda. You could see more and more people joining in the initiative. This is another thing I would like. This is the same thing that I like to stress on. We covered stuff right from bird watching to art appreciation to computer programming, which is in today's world a very, very essential tool for anyone and everyone, irrespective of what line of study you want to pursue. So we try to make it a point that we let them explore. We let them utilize whatever tools they have at hand to go about and make themselves a better person. Here, few people from NIT Goa are seen demonstrating, line following robots and stuff that would excite children to take up science and technology as a viable career. And then we emphasized, careers that people seldom take because they're considered to be very, very risky or not so prestigious in today's time in India. And we published stories of people who had decided not to go for engineering but go for stuff like design, to go for stuff like filmmaking, and we try to tell people that hey, it's not that difficult. You can make a career in whatever you love. You don't have to give it up. That is the whole point of it. And then we had a session to take care of the people who had a passion for engineering, or who thought that engineering was a thing for them. So we counseled them even before they chose the branches that they wanted to take up. This was how houseful session that we had people who were standing out trying to get in for the session. And we involved a lot of communities from Goa. We involved college professors for this session so that students not only hear from other students but from professors who they can trust on what to take as their career. And then this was a very big milestone. We finally decided, okay, now it was time that we go in and become an NGO. So this happened a year ago, and yes, we are now a non-governmental organization. And these are activities that were conducted in Delhi by people who just contacted us over Facebook, saying that they want to go ahead and they like the initiative and they want to conduct activities in their college. This was about the different types of houses and elements that go into design and architecture. We also try to give publicity to people who've done instrumental things right in the high school, because that is what we think it was much lacking when we were in school, that people who do the right things need to know the right people and go ahead in life. Yes, this is the core team as it was like 1 year ago. One of our members is now a Teach for India fellow, and he's currently in his second year of his fellowship in Pune. This is one of our meetings, really chilled out that way. And as I said before, we are more of friends than teachers, and that is what probably gave us the edge when it came to interacting with students. And when you go back to a school classroom, nostalgia hits you real bad. So I think I'm pretty much game for that feeling of going back to a cramped up classroom and making noise and whatnot. So that's the best part about going back to school and sharing what you know. So the message at the end of all of this is that we were just ordinary people who came about when we were less than 18 years of age and went about doing what we want to do, that is inspire other people, share our love and passion. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience today can go back and at least dedicate an hour or two of their time in a school, probably which they were a part of, to tell them about what they love today and how someone can go ahead with whatever they love and become successful in life. Passion is a very important thing. Some people might think it's overrated, but I don't think so. I think that is the thing that you can count on when you have nothing else. So spreading love, spreading the passion is what we believe in, and I think we'll continue to fascinate, and I hope you do the same. Thank you.